and welcome back to another episode. And of course, we are talking about the Super Eagles that are playing their final group game against the Amavubi of Rwanda for the final AFCON 2025 qualifiers. And yeah, they are qualified to the 2025 AFCON qualifiers in Morocco for next year. And so this game is, I want to believe, is going to be an easy outing for the Super Eagles. Now, the Super Eagles are going to be playing at home. They're going to be playing in Uyo at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium. And I think it's a good stadium for them. You know, they've won, you know, some and most of the games that they've played in that stadium. They've won, even as good as the last game against Benin Republic, where they won 3-0, and even against Libya, where they won 1-0 at home. So I think they are going to be in their territory, and it should be an easy outing, an easy game for them. Now, there is no pressure for the Super Eagles. As I said earlier, they are already qualified to the finals in Morocco. Now, however, I think the group is still a tricky group with the other three members, and that's Benin Republic, Libya, and Rwanda. At the moment, Libya are bottom of the table. Benin are second on the table, and Rwanda are third. Now, of course, Libya will be praying for us to beat what's their name now, Rwanda, for them to have any chance of qualifying. Now, I do think that is going to be a bit difficult. However, if they lose today against the Super Eagles, and I'm talking of Rwanda now, if they lose against the Super Eagles, their chances of qualifying is going to be slim, especially if what's they called? If Rwanda, if Libya definitely beat Benin Republic. So it's going to be, I still think it's still tricky for the remaining teams in the group. But as for the Super Eagles, I do think that we are sealed and done for 2025 AFCON in Morocco next year. So it should be an easy outing. And I think that's partly part of the reason why some of our big team members are out of the game. The likes of Stanley Nwabali is out of the match. Unfortunately, he lost his dad last Friday, and so he won't be partaking in this fixture. However, he's even gone home. Unfortunately, he won't be able to play, and it's understandable because, of course, you can't lose your dad and still, you know, be in that mindset of playing, you know, a match. But is understandable. And then we also have Olaino also out of the team. He's gone back to England. He plays for Nottingham Forest, and the club has asked for him to return because, of course, they have a big game at the weekend against Arsenal. And so, yes, they need all probably most of their team members back early, especially for those nations that have qualified and they have some of their players playing for those national teams. And then the last person that will obviously be out of the squad is Ademola Lookman, who is African player in incoming, right? Is obviously out with a knock. I do hope it's not a serious one because he's been on some fine form for both Atalanta and Nigeria. And yes, he hasn't scored. I think he didn't score in the last game, obviously, but you know what? I think it's better that he has gone back to Atalanta, and the doctors there are going to obviously check if it's a serious one or not too serious, but I hope it is not. But then again, it is fine that those three players are obviously excused. We have qualified, so there's no much pressure on the Super Eagles. However, I do feel that in this particular game, the likes of Victor Boniface should start. I don't think there's much pressure for Victor Osimhen to start in this one. He scored in the last one, so let's see how well Boniface has gelled with the team. We still have other players in the team. We still have Trustekong, obviously. We have what's the name? We have Dele Bashiru. We still have Bruno Yemachi. We still have, you know, some of the big players who I think will step up. And even our goalkeeper Maduka Okoye, who has obviously not been in goal for the Super Eagles in how many matches now, would have his opportunity to, you know, kick for the side. The squad list for this particular match is not yet out, which I still don't know why, because it's less than an hour away to the game. But whichever squad list, right, comes out, I want to believe they can handle Rwanda. The last game we beat them, so this should be an easy one. And as I said, we are playing at home. We have the fans behind us, and I do really want to believe that we have the fans behind them, because yes, a lot of people grumbled about the fact that we played out a 1-1 draw against Benin Republic in Abidjan. But you know what? We've got qualified, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But yes, it's going to be quite an interesting one. I want to believe that the Super Eagles will turn their attention now to the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, which I think is even more important after this game. And the qualifiers obviously will continue from next year, January. But you know what? Let's take it a game at a time. The head coach, Augustin Eguavon, I think he's fine with his squad. He knows, in and around the players. So when that time comes, he would know what to, to do, especially when even we are playing the likes of Benin Republic in the qualifier stage in the World Cup. And we unfortunately lost to them in one of the games 3-0. But you know what? When that time comes, I'm sure the coach will know how to handle the team. But what's more important right now is the game against Rwanda, and they're obviously going to be playing at home. Hopefully, I wish the guys best of luck. You know what? Hopefully, they can win that one. Even if they don't win, if it's a draw, the only thing I would not agree with is them losing the game and being lackadaisical about the game. That is what I would not accept. And I'm sure I can speak the same for a lot of Nigerians that it is not going to be acceptable. But definitely, even if it's a draw, let us not end the game, out of the top group. Obviously, we are top of the table or the group at the moment, so a draw will still keep us there, and we'll probably meet a lower team or something when the draw is done. But you know what? Let's see what they will do today. Let's see what they will do today. Anyway, that's much from me for now until the game is played, and I come back to you guys tomorrow as to how the game was, played and how well they played in that particular game. That's much from me for today. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles at _official FSH. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Put on your post notification button to get the latest videos when they drop. And of course, share your comments. Share what you think will be the best result for the Super Eagles against their Marvel B of Rwanda. Anyways, that's much from me for today. It's bye from me.